love vaping inside.
It's really fun.
stopped. The only time I don't do it is at airports because they really won't let you fly.
What? You can go into the
in the bathroom you can, but not on the plane.
You can in the bathroom. I'm like, what are you
Not on the plane.
You can.
No, they know.
How do they know?
And then you're in fucking trouble.
I've done it so many times.
Well, they know you're doing it.
How?
Because they have a thing that censors it and they have to treat it like a fire. If they do catch you, it's a nightmare. Like there will be people there to see you when the plane lands. Be careful.
Really?
Yeah, but I do ketamine. I put my
okay.
I do my ketamine in my seat. I put like my sweater over my knees. And then and my head's in it and I make like a little ketamine tent.
You snort ketamine on a plane?
Yes, I do.
And no one will stop you, but if
they don't know. They think I'm probably up to something. I'm hiding in my
But if I go vape in a plane, A, let's hope the plane lands. And B,
well, at this point, let us vape.
Yeah.
This could be our last vape.
Yeah, seriously. There was somebody posted like a meme that was like, it is now okay to officially clap when the plane lands. And I was
yes,
like,
do not be. Yeah, before I was like, I'll kill it.
Just like, we did it.
I call my family now. I say goodbye. I'm doing the FaceTime. I'm going, Mommy, Daddy. I call the nieces, the nephews. Love you.
Right
I gotta
before
call Todd's family. I gotta call Todd's family. I gotta call 25 people.
Right before airplane mode, you're like, oh.
I've never put it. I don't fucking fuck with airplane mode.
I do if I need the Wi-Fi.
No, I know. That's what I learned. I did learn that, but my 30th birthday was on a flight. I had it on a flight and it was a long flight with these people. It was one of those flights where it's the same crew, but you're going another leg with them. So I got to know them and they wanted to give me alcohol, but I don't drink.
Right.
So I was like, well, what else can I have? They gave me snacks and they're like, you can leave your phone off of airplane. That was like my present.
The treat?
Yeah. And then I've never used airplane mode again.
Oh my God, you spoiled.
I'm the one that makes them drop from the sky. It's my fault.
It's you're the faulty tower.
I am.
All right, what's up, you guys? Welcome to this week's episode of the Just Saying podcast. I'm your host, Justin Martindale, and this week's guest, I'm so excited to finally have her on the show. You know her from Annie Wood. You know her from, what else can I say that you haven't? Let's see, Girl Code.
Girl Code. I was a voice on Grand Theft Auto. I don't know if your fans are Grand Theft Auto.
They're huge Grand Theft Auto
and boys.
fans. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Do you call them boys? Are you guys boys instead of girlies? What's your audience?
It's predominantly heterosexual alpha males.
Oh my God.
I know, it's wild.
I could see it.
Yeah. Oh, there's some in there. No. It's girls and gays and fun and, people.
The good audience.
The great listeners. The Just Sayers, if you will. It's Annie Lederman joining us today. Yes. Finally. Just catching up.
Well, I tried to cancel today because I had 50 and I ended up being late. I just had, my schedule was like really full and I wanted to be fresh for you.
Yeah.
So I tried to cancel and then we were hanging out last night and we were laughing so hard that I was like, oh God, we have to do this now.
We have to do it. Yeah, I know.
We can't let any of this go.
I stayed late to swindle you into coming.
It was
today.
quick. You swindled me pretty early in the night. Yeah. You did not need to stay. We probably ruined the podcast because we did it all last night. But
no, I have it all written down. I was like, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this.
Crying laughing.
Oh, it was so much fun. It was a fun night last night.
It was really fun.
Very strange night as well. I felt like it was very, I don't know. There's a lot of people now that I just see roaming that I'm like, I have no idea who you are.
We were standing back and there's like a part of the Comedy Store, it's called Sacred Ground, where it's only supposed to be comedians back there. And we're talking, my back is to the entire area.
Yeah.
And then just all of a sudden says something about some guy sitting behind. There's just this weirdo sitting in the back. I'm like, who is this person?
Right.
He could have just taken us both out.
Yeah, he was sitting like in the corner, like an A24 character, just like in the shadows.
It was fully a horror movie.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And this guy's like,
I know. And what are you doing by yourself in the corner of a place you're not supposed to be?
Read the signs. It's like, if you don't belong here, get out.
I know.
But everyone thinks they belong these days, and they don't.
And they don't belong. We need to start kicking people out.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be elitist.
Did you see how my pupils dilated? I was like,
I'm like, if you're an extra, you are not eating at my craft service table.
Yeah, sorry. If you do not have a fork, you can't eat.
Sorry, guys. Yeah. Earn your fork.
Get out of here. Well, I'm very excited to have you. We've known each other for so long.
Yeah.
I feel like we have tested for every show imaginable together.
I love when you would test for these shows, they put a bunch of different people together to chemistry test them. And they put us in this room and it's so the snacks were like carrots. They were like, we're not giving you anything that's gonna get you fat, not on this channel.
We have a very strict budget.
They're like, you can have raw broccoli And that's it. No ranch to dip it in.
No ranch, just raw foods and maybe like some Welch's gummies.
They'll give you the gummies, but they have to be natural fruit.
Yeah. And then there's Annie over there in her ketamine. We're like, Annie, no, not again.
I wanted to be able to lock in with everyone.
This episode is brought to you by Quince. Listen up, Just Sayers. Elevating my style used to mean breaking the bank, but with Quince, I get high-end, versatile pieces at prices I can actually afford. Isn't that nice? Now I can upgrade my style by snagging killer luxury essentials that sync not only with my vibe, but with my wallet as well. Quince has items that are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands, and Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. I love that. Quince sent me this really nice button-down green shirt that not only looks good on me, but also is breathable, so I don't have to worry about sweating through the fabric. They also sent me a nice pair of gloves that I can take with me when I'm heading over to the East Coast where winter exists, so they will keep my hands warm when I'm on my Just Sayin' tour. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/sayin for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/sayin, SAYIN, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/sayin. If the slots are spinning, you could be winning. Head over to DraftKings Casino and play the classics you know and love, or try something new with DraftKings exclusive games.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 and over. Physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Minimum $100 in wagers required for reward. Rewards vary by tier reached. Slots and table games only. Non-withdrawable casino credits expire in 168 hours. Wager $70,000 for maximum reward. Terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends March 16th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
Now, this is a topic that I have not really discussed because I feel like this has been going on for 3 months now.
I am getting fatigued by it. I can't stop. I'm addicted to it.
Yeah. And by that story, I'm talking clearly about the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni. It ends with us. And Annie over here was like, I know it all. I have the timeline.
I'm balls deep in the Baldoni.
There's so many other podcasts out there that have covered this from day one. There's always, I feel like every day there's like an outrage or something. And I'm exhausted as well. Like this past weekend, there was like the SNL 50th and Ryan Reynolds and Blake were there. Now a story came out this week about like Taylor Swift wasn't there because Blake was there. Like, so what? Can you please just like walk us through it and we will get the exclusive.
So there was a book called It Ends With Us.
I'm bored.
And by the way, it should have ended there.
Just end with the book.
By the way, I don't want it. And it's about DV, which we have to call things DV.
About what? Oh,
It's,
the old why I oughta.
Like I'm a guy and then the air is a girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about that.
So it's about DV.
Yes, it's about DV, not HPV. And
then it really ends with us.
I know. It really
You're giving me HPV.
It actually doesn't end with us. It continues. It carries on.
It ends with you, but I still got to carry
yes.
it. Yeah.
Now, okay, so it became a movie. This guy, Justin Baldoni, who was on Jane the Virgin. I didn't see him until I saw the movie, so I didn't know anything about him.
Yeah, you lost me with virgins and reading.
I know, but listen. Hello. I haven't read a book since I lost my virginity, and that was a very long time ago. I was so bored. I was just reading. But so it's this book about a couple, and there's some knocky-aroundies. And this guy, Justin Baldoni, who's an actor, he and his production company, Wayfair, bought the rights to the book. So they buy the rights to the book, and Justin Baldoni, I have learned, he's this male feminist. He has a podcast called Man Up, or he had one. He had a podcast called Man Up, and he would just talk to men about, listening to women and blah, 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 blah. Gay.
Get on with it already.
I'm a girl. I'm a female non-feminist. No, I'm just kidding. But so he has this whole sort of character that when something comes out about someone like this, he had a man bun for a while.
Of course.
When something comes out that a guy like that is a male feminist or is a sex pest, it's exciting.
Yeah.
You want to see a guy with a man bun that's talking about like being more emotional and connecting with women. It feels good. It's a good fall. It's a good fall. You want to be like, he was faking it the whole time. And so he options this movie and he's doing TED Talks about, how you have to accept accountability for your internalized misogyny, all this stuff. And he options it. They hire Blake Lively as the actress. That's it. She might have had an executive producer role, but we know in Hollywood that an executive producer, they just slap your name on it. Doesn't mean you actually
you showed up to work.
Yeah, you don't do anything.
Yeah.
You just maybe make more money on the back end of the movie. So they shoot the movie. The movie comes out, and it's the stupidest movie I've ever seen. Did you watch it?
No, I'm busy.
It's so dumb.
I don't want to see this movie at all, ever.
It's such a dumb movie.
Maybe on a plane?
Yeah, I mean...
While it's crashing?
The last thing you see?
Yeah, it ends with us.
It ends with everyone on this plane.
Yeah.
But so the movie is like, it's about this girl that gets knocked around by her husband, and the husband is played by Justin Baldoni. So when I first saw the movie, this was my first experience with him, okay? And he plays like an abuser. So I'm in my head going, this guy probably sucks, And the movie also, the woman in it that Blake Lively plays is a florist. Her name's Lily Bloom, which come on.
Okay, what in the Twilight Saga
I'm
is that?
so tired of the names in books.
Lily
They're so
Bloom.
bad. Lily Bloom, ew.
Is this like a book fair kind of a book?
It feels like it.
Okay.
But I guess a lot of women love this book, so there was a lot of buzz around it, and they were so excited there was going to be a movie. I don't know why you'd be so excited to have a DV book, but anyway.
Yeah.
So, or a book in general. But so they, so she just happens to be a florist in it. That's like her storyline, is she's opening up a flower store. And so Justin Baldoni, when they start doing press, right before they start doing press, Blake Lively has and the cast unfollows Justin Baldoni. So you go, okay, everyone's going to notice that. That's like pretty apparent when someone does that. And then they're doing press and they're never together. And then when they do the press, Justin Baldoni is going, this is really important to highlight the abuse against women and men taking accountability. And he's running with the storyline about how this is about a very serious topic. And then Blake is running with the storyline of there's a flower shop. So she's like, girls, wear your florals. This is going to be like a cute girls' night out. And everyone was going, this is really weird.
This is about abuse.
And then she's selling her hair care line, Blake Brown, which I don't understand. You're blonde and your hair is actually not that cute. But so then she's like hawking her hair stuff and people are going, and this is just like the internet just organically is going, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, the messaging, the coding.
This is about a woman that's getting thrown down the stairs. Like, why are you like, come on, girls? Which, by the way, in our society now, you have to have a trigger warning for everything. So people are going in their Paisley to go see this movie, and then it's an abuse movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you thought you were going to go see Bridget Jones.
Yeah, you didn't know you were going to see a florist being floored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flowers are there because he's apologizing for giving her black eyes. So there's already this, you can see this, right? And then at the premiere, there's like the red carpet. They're not together. And then every time they ask him about Blake, he always says she was really instrumental. She had her hands in a lot of the stuff. And he sang it very nicely. And so you can just see something's up. And then people start to just be like, what the hell is wrong with Blake Lively? And they're just like, there's all these articles. And then people are starting to dig up old interviews with her where she's just really off. She's not reading the room. She's really very nasty to people.
Yeah.
People are trying to be nice and she's taking offense to it.
Passive aggressive. Yeah. Hates being pregnant.
Yeah, that was
She hates
crazy.
when people are like, oh, you look great. You're bump. And she's like, your bump looks great too.
How dare you? You wouldn't ask a man if he was pregnant.
Yeah, why would you say I'm pregnant? Well, because you are.
Well, I mean, if Kamala had one, you might ask if a man was pregnant, but no more. That's no more of that.
I know.
But it's just like finding problems places that aren't there. And you just see it again and again. And she had some good jokes, but you're not a comedian, so it doesn't work. I mean, they were doing press for like a Q&A for Gossip Girl. and they were talking about something about putting women in cages. And now Liam, what's her name?
Leighton Meester.
Leighton Meester.
Yeah.
Was born in jail, which, by the way, love it. Didn't know it. I was like, this is incredible. You're a jail baby. I love you.
I know.
I love someone that comes from the worst situation much more than I love someone like Blake Lively, who was in a house of producers and grew up wealthy and stuff like that. And not because I love a Nepo baby and stuff, but because of this reason, she cannot relate to normal people because she isn't a normal person.
She hasn't been a normal person ever.
She's never been a normal person.
Yeah.
So she, in her head, is probably thinking everything she's doing is very normal. And because I think she was brought up this way, there's such a trail of her kind of outing herself and just telling the truth about weird things she's doing that aren't really appropriate. Because she doesn't even know it's not appropriate what she's doing. So anyway, back to this interview or the Q&A, and Liam was born in what's her name? Leighton. I'm calling her Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson was born in a jail cell.
She was born in a jail cell. So then Blake goes, well, some of us were born in a cage. And as for me, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I would say that to one of my comedian friends. I would not say it to a random person when
you're on a panel in front of an audience.
And she wasn't like, LOL, this is funny. She was like, oh, wow, you're bringing up the worst experience of my life. And it's just another example of her like flowers.
Yeah.
When it's like, no, this is about getting knocked around.
Yeah.
So then everyone is starting to hate on her. And then they're starting to like go, she's always kind of sucked. We didn't even realize this. And so then all of a sudden, in the midst of all of this, a New York Times article comes out about how Justin Baldoni was starting a smear campaign against Blake Lively. And they showed text messages from him and his publicists and his PR company. And
was this the one where he's like leaving her a voice message at like 3:00 in the morning?
No, that comes the next week. So this is just the first time we're actually hearing anyone address why aren't they? It seems like there's tension here. They unfollowed him. Right. He wasn't on the red carpet with her.
He was kept in a basement apparently.
Right, but we didn't even know that yet.
Oh.
We didn't even know that yet. So now it's just her coming against him, okay? And all I know of him is he's this Ryle is his name in the book. Ryle? And he's Vile Ryle. He's this guy throwing women down the stairs, punching them because they burned a pot roast,
I mean, wouldn't you?
Listen, if you burn my food, you're in trouble. Unless you're in the Palisades 3 weeks ago. And that's not your fault. But so, speaking of, they subpoenaed all of his lawyers and stuff during the fire. Like they went to them evacuating their house and subpoenaed them, Blake's team. So anyway, this article comes out and it's this scathing thing about how she had to, they stopped filming during the pandemic or during the writer's strike. Then after the writer's strike, she said, I'm not coming back. And she listed all of these things like, we need an intimacy coordinator. We need this, we need that. I need him to stop showing me pornography. And
what?
Blah, blah, blah.
Why would
but
you
he
want
rebukes
that?
all of this, okay?
Oh.
So then you find out what she's calling pornography is like not that. But so it's this, and I'm looking at this article going, oh, okay, this male feminist sucks. He's a sex pest. He's like
fraud.
Making everything so bad. He's annoying. Like he's horrible. And they show these text exchange between him and his PR people that are like, I can't remember the exact thing, but they made it seem like they were going like, oh, wow, we need to like take her down or whatever. But really what it was them commenting on how naturally people were coming after her. And they even were saying how it's kind of sad how fast people will go against a woman. They were actually almost, his PR team was almost going like, this is sad how much people hate Blake Lively.
Mm-hmm.
And so this thing he had to sign and his production company had to sign for her to even come back to the film is in that. And then him and his lawyer come out and they're like, all of these things are false. They provide the full text messages. They had altered the text messages.
Who, Blake and Ryan?
Blake and the people the stuff that they sent to the New York Times. And the New York Times had posted these altered text messages where they took out emojis and sarcasm and the nice things that they were saying.
To change the tone of a text message.
Exactly, to make it seem like they were hired to take Blake Lively down. But they weren't. They were there like trying to protect him. And they were saying, wow, we didn't even need to do this. This is like she's doing it to herself.
Oh, I'm all familiar with people taking tone out of a text.
Tell us.
What?
So when you called me a stupid bitch for being late.
No, that was like, haha, stupid bitch for being late. Yeah, no.
I rushed.
No,
I almost got in an accident. I didn't put my seatbelt on. When someone calls me a bitch, I show up. But so
do we have a new intimacy coordinator coming?
Yes, we do need an intimacy coordinator.
Great.
I was going to try to tongue you down. I always thought you were into me. Yeah. But so anyway, so you're asking the most ADD person to tell
You're
the longest
so good
story.
at this.
Okay.
No,
I've been waking up. I mean, I watch Candace Owens now. I mean, it's like crazy things are happening in my life.
Well, turn over a new leaf, I guess.
Listen, I'm like, I guess I'm not Jewish anymore. But I'm not Jewish.
But no, it's so funny because there's so many podcasts that have been going over this, and I feel like it's so overwhelming, and I'm just like, I don't want to do it. But then last night you were like, let me tell you everything.
I know
you're doing
everything.
great.
Okay, so then they have all of these receipts against everything that the New York Times printed. And it's like, come on, New York Times. Like, this is crazy, right? So then she was filing a suit, she was filing a suit against them about them, a defamation suit that trying to accuse them of planting all these stories about her. And then really when it's just people don't like her and it was her own actions. So then he does a countersuit for like $400 million or something crazy. And against them for doing it to him because the New York Times article was just wrong. It wasn't correct. You can't put altered text in a.
Well, that's
crazy.
Defamation.
Yeah, you're lying. So anyway, so then she had talked about there was this scene where they were at a bar and he was sexually harassing her and doing all this stuff. So then what turns out is what she said was porn was him showing his wife having a water birth.
I get that.
Movie about
gross
where she has childbirth. I know you should get consent for that.
I don't want to see. No,
you should. You of all people, I would think would want to.
I'd rather watch a water
buffalo. I want to see a vagina at its worst.
Yeah,
but
I'd rather just watch like a zebra fall out of a sack.
I don't like that either.
I can do that. That's nature.
I don't even like
see
that.
Like
I don't like the sacks.
Lady.
I don't like the wet. I don't like all of that.
No, I don't need like a sound bath dialysis. Just.
But he is. No. I mean, he is like insufferable.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. I mean, he really is so annoying, and he's a part of this Baha'i religion where I guess he went up. He's like very spiritual, and he had done some things that were like, this would be so annoying. Her dad had passed away, and I guess he went up and was like, your father came to me in a dream. I would be like, I'm spiritual. Yeah. I'm spiritual. I'm into the woo-woo, but you can't impose it on other people. You just, people come to you that are woo-woo too, and then you talk to them about it, but you don't need to but anyway. But
unless you're a Christian, yeah.
But exactly, yeah. Then you have to tell us what we're allowed to do and what holes we're allowed to get banged in. But
Chapter 8.
Yes.
Holes?
That's what I call my asshole too. Chapter 8.
It ends with holes.
It ends with holes. It rear ends with holes. But so everything she said about him, they are able to dispute, and they're able, like, they have such good receipts. So it's like she said there was this scene that she felt uncomfortable in, and then
they show like her like joking with him or whatever.
Yeah, they're joking around, and it's basically in the script that they have to be doing this stuff. So Justin Baldoni's team just posts that video. They're like, we'll just post the dailies of this and the footage of this. And everyone's like, oh, okay, so we're watching this and we're not really seeing this sexual harassment.
Right.
So then more things start to come out about how Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds started rewriting scenes. And this is during the writer's strike, so they're not even supposed to be writing at all. Ryan's is not hired on this at all, so he shouldn't be writing it. And they find out that he was doing this because Blake Lively says it. People are interviewing her. She was actually, my husband wrote that scene and all of this stuff. And then Justin Baldoni's side starts like posting text messages that they had. And in one of the text messages, she refers to herself as Khaleesi, and she says, I have these powerful dragons, which she's talking about Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift, who she is dragging down. It is crazy. I mean, you put dents on Taylor Swift.
Well, that's the thing, because
dents on Taylor Swift. This bitch is looking like shit right now.
Well, she was like, taking Blake to the Super Bowl last year, and this year she wasn't there. And didn't Blake and Ryan like name one of their kids after like a
she's the godmother of their kids.
Something like that.
So they were really close. So they all were basically what it's looking to be is that they were doing things like, so Blake wanted to take the movie over, And so she would do things like, they were supposed to work on a scene, which by the way, you're not supposed to rewrite your scenes when you're an actor. You're a fucking actor. You're supposed to be nothing. You're supposed to be a husk of a person, and you're supposed to take direction, and you're supposed to do your job. You're not supposed to rewrite. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, and this is his passion project, okay? So she would be like, oh, come over to my place and I'll show you this new scene I wrote. And he's like, okay. And he's just going along with it because she keeps threatening to like not do press or pull out of the project. And so he's just trying to placate her. So he goes over to her apartment, and Blake and Ryan and Taylor Swift are there, and they're just going, her scene is so amazing that she wrote. This is so incredible. Isn't this so good? So then he's feeling pressure of some of the two most powerful people in the world being like, you better use this scene.
But they didn't know that they were being used for that, right?
I think they were all involved. That's my guess. I think Taylor Swift was probably like, yeah, let's get this guy. Because I'm sure he's being annoying. He's like annoying. He's like, I thought of your dad in my dream. Get away from me.
Well, you had me at man bun.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I knew what I was
but then you find out the man bun was because he was growing it out for cancer. This guy is pretty squeaky clean at this point.
So they're both insane people.
This guy's squeaky fucking clean. They post a video of him cutting it off at his son going, why are you cutting it? He's like, I'm giving it to kids with cancer. You're like, oh God,
no.
And these are the guys you want to check their web browser history. You want to find something.
Exactly. Well, here's the thing, because so many people are like, if you say Team Blake, people come after you. If you say Team Justin, people come after you.
Who is coming after Team Justin? I really don't.
A lot of people are like, no, it's his fault. He's just equally as creepy, whatever. But at the end of the day, I think this is like, I feel like a crazy narcissist project.
Yes.
Like two extreme narcissists work together on a show. And how did the movie even do?
I think it did well.
Yeah,
I think it did well. It sucked though. It really wasn't good. And so she ended up like threatening Sony Studios, and she wasn't going to promote it unless they used her edit. She hired her own editor to re-edit his movie. So then his editor, fuck them, they got hired to do this. And they said that they even did a screen test of both edits, and Justin's was viewed as better, and Blake like made them use her version. God. So she just hijacked this guy's project. He spent his money on it. It was his passion project, all this stuff.
Yeah, so $351 million worldwide with a budget of $25 million. So a hit.
Right, a hit.
But also like there's so many little digs, and I feel like Blake has really kind of taken this from Taylor Swift, where there's like all these little Easter eggs and things.
Oh my God, they did a whole character on Deadpool called Nice Pool, where they're mocking this guy and making fun of him and all this stuff, where you're like,
that's based off Justin Baldoni.
These stand-up comedians, like, we need this in the comedy community more. We need more of that. I feel like it's gotten too Hollywood in comedy, and it's getting too comedy in Hollywood. But it's just like crazy, and they have Blake like kill him in the scene, her character kill him, and it's this whole thing. And it's just all these digs, and then Ryan's talking about intimacy coordinators, and she's complaining about, in her complaint to come back after the writer's strike, she's like, there needs to be an intimacy coordinator on set. And then Justin posted all of these texts where he's like, all right, we have the meeting with the intimacy coordinator. And she's like, I don't need to show up. It's fine. You can just tell me the notes or whatever. And so like, she just is getting caught in lies.
Yeah.
In my head, I was thinking maybe she had just had a baby. She's like going through postpartum. You know, when you just get the ick from someone, everything they do seems horrible.
Do I?
I've gotten that for people. I've had people get that for me, where you're like, you say something nice and like, fuck you. And you're like, why is that bad? Fifi. Fifi. Always mad at me, Fifi. Never said anything bad to you, ever. Fiefmeister. But I think that maybe that was what it was. And then she's going home and like reporting this stuff to Ryan, and he's like egging it on or something. And then, but I'm like, after you see all this evidence he's sending, bitch, can't you see that you were like, she should just be like, I postpartum, I'm sorry, but she keeps like doubling down on these things. They serve the guy during the fucking fires when he's evacuating his family.
Who, Justin Baldoni?
His lawyer.
Serve the lawyer?
They serve the lawyer.
While his home is burning
evacuating.
down? Yeah, trash.
Like they're crazy.
Yeah.
And then so last night they had filed for an extension because they wanted to do an amendment to their lawsuit, Blake's team. And then at midnight they sent it in. I mean, this is like me on Adderall in college. Like, I'm finally ready to study. You know, it's like 2 minutes before the test. I just have $100 bill rolled up. No, it's not 100. It wasn't 100. It was a dollar. But so it was a Bible page. But so then the amendment is nothing. It's like all nothing. She's saying
hearsay.
Oh, maybe. And here's the thing. Maybe he was grab assing. Maybe he was doing stuff. But show us the evidence, and we'll be like, fuck this guy. But there has been nothing but nice things coming out about this guy, and you want to hate this man. He's in a weird religion he keeps talking to everyone about.
Well, so at the SNL 50th,
right,
she showed up in a dress that was covered in flowers.
Ugh. Did she? Was it flowers again?
Yeah, it was like a silver dress with flowers all over it, and everyone's like, "Okay, lady." And then Ryan got up on in the audience. I don't know if you saw that video, and he was.
Yes.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, Ryan Reynolds. Let's take a question." And he's like, "Oh, you've been going through," and he's like, "Why? What have you heard?" And Blake's face. Everyone's now analyzing that she's like,
she knew he was going to say that.
Of course,
she didn't know.
But
Everything's
she's like, "Don't
scripted.
say anything." They're just
they've been doing shady stuff behind the scenes for a long time, is my guess. And they just are like, oh, wait, we're not winning anymore.
Yeah.
Like, to take over someone's movie is so dirty and so crazy. Why is Ryan Reynolds' forehead so out?
I thought Ryan Reynolds used to be so hot.
I used to think he was handsome and funny, and I cannot stand him anymore.
Yeah, it's a little cheese.
And she just seems like such a nightmare. But
yeah.
So they like... Anyway, there's just all this evidence against her. They brought nothing new to this amendment. She's like, oh, well, some of the other girls were uncomfortable. So it's like, okay, well, if they're not coming out, then we don't know if you're telling the truth, because everything else you're saying is like not true. And look at this nightmare. She looks so unhappy.
But is the lawsuit still happening?
Yes.
And so
it's still happening.
How do we get to be jurors on this jury?
I fear I am a juror. I feel I'm a juror of the public forever. I feel like I'm going to be involved with this till it ends.
But it's a defamation lawsuit, right?
They're both, and there's a countersuit of defamation towards her, because then they found it in the New York Times article that they had been plotting. The internet found out that the metadata on the picture that they used for it came from a week before, so that they had been planning this attack on him, which is what she's accusing them of doing. And the whole thing's crazy. And I would love to see, but here's the deeper thing is, this is a series of books, and he bought the whole series.
Oh, so we get a sequel now?
But her plan was, I think there was a sexual harassment clause in the thing where the options could be taken back if there's sexual harassment. So then it's starting to look like, okay, did these people plan this whole thing to make it look like he's a sexual harasser, so then they can take over the next movie? And she seemed to get like all of the actors on her side and stuff like that, but she has a lot to offer them. Taylor Swift concerts, Era Tour, private jets.
She says that there's 2 other women on set.
And there are 2 other women, and we know who they are. They're the young Lily Bloom and then Jenny Slate, who plays the sister of Justin's character.
And so she basically just got them on her side.
But she's saying she has stuff, but they don't want to come out. She's protecting them.
She says she has like text messages from, or like they're now saying that they got text messages from Blake, saying something along the lines of like, let's go girls.
Right.
You know,
my thing is, when I was hearing all this, and because I'm always very naive to the manipulations of Hollywood, and I always thought the casting couch was a joke until I was literally like, please no. But then you learn it's like these people get to these high places by knowing how to work the system or whatever, and you hear about a lot of men doing some manipulative stuff. So I'm almost like, Blake, if you want to try to manipulate and steal a movie, like, I guess go for it. But when you accuse someone of sexual harassment, you cross a line it's just so dirty. It's so nasty. It's so, not just for his reputation and stuff, but for people that really have had fucked up stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
it's fuck you, bitch.
It's literally like a fake Me Too.
It's a fake Me Too.
And that's like the problem, where it's like, it's that victimhood that's going around right now, where it's like, hey, I'm just saying like, hey, could you not do this? Or, hey, could you do this? And it's like, oh my God, why would you say that? I'm shaking. I'm
so upset. You kissed me on my cheek. Yeah. It's like, shut up.
Oh my God, he's a problem. We have to not work with him ever again.
But to see where there's really no evidence yet of this, like maybe it will come out that he like grabbed Jenny Slate's ass or something, like who knows? But as of yet, there's really no evidence that he did anything wrong. I mean, I guess showing like a baby popping out of your wife's puss is pretty nasty, but
it's nature.
It's nature.
Yeah.
It's nature. But it's just been very wild, and it somehow made me like Justin Baldoni and made me like Candace Owens.
It is very, very strange, like how far this has gone and like how long it's been going on.
It's going to ruin Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and possibly Taylor Swift's careers.
Not Taylor Swift.
It's not going to ruin her career, but it's going to ruin her perfect career.
It's going to make it look like she doesn't know how to pick her friends, because I feel like everything is like a casting assignment with her. It's like you've had Blake Lively. Now Blake Lively's problematic. She's gone. Now we have even like the whole Travis Kelce relationship. Everyone's like, oh, it's totally staged. And now like I'm trying to think
not
what
staged
else.
enough to win that Super Bowl.
Well,
his hair looked like shit. It was
I know.
so funny.
She's been booed. Is it because of like Blake or Travis, whatever?
Or Trump,
I don't
who knows?
get it. I don't. She'll be fine.
Yeah.
But it is just.
But it does expose like the backstories of all this, like what you're even saying. She's picking her friend, she's doing all that stuff. It shows to a larger audience that's maybe not in Hollywood, that doesn't assume that people are being weird and nefarious behind the scenes, and because up until this point, you're like, okay, she seems to be like not the best ex-girlfriend. She keeps writing full albums about these guys. But you also hear she pays her staff really well. She always
she's
takes care
hanging
of
with
everyone.
like Brittany Mahomes, you know, and everyone's like, well, Brittany's kind of like
not
like not really like the brand or whatever. So then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm gonna distance myself.
Of course,
and I don't know. So it's all bullshit.
But
Welcome to
I think that is getting exposed, a little bit of that behind the scenes stuff. But it's just really, I just can't even believe it. It's so crazy. They're just so fucked.
It's never ending. Never ending. Well, let's go. That was a really good recap, I have to say.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm up to speed.
But the voicemail was him responding to that text she said about being Khaleesi. And the voicemail is so disgusting. His voice, he's so annoying. He's
a lot of women said it was like hot. A lot of women are like, oh, it sounds so soothing and like hot. But I mean, these are the same women who are like have been following this story for like 10 months.
But the fakeness of it is annoying. I understand his fakeness is coming from a place of wanting to just get this project going.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
Why are we leaving voice memos at like 3 o'clock in the morning? And B, why are you in bed listening to it? And what's Ryan Reynolds doing next to you?
Seething.
Yeah.
Writing a new character called Nice Pool.
Like if I got a voice, yeah. If I hear my fiance listening to a voice memo from somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be like, and who?
Yeah. But also, I know nobody ever even DMs my fiance. It's so annoying. It's just like his mom sending him memes. I'm like, where are the bitches that want my man?
Yeah.
But all
we have is carrots and broccoli. There's no ranch.
But she has always dated her co-stars.
Blake Lively has?
Yeah, she dated Penn Badgley on Gossip Girl. She dated someone else. I can't remember who else, one of her co-stars. And then he was married to Scarlett Johansson, and she was dating Leonardo DiCaprio, and then they got together. So I don't know if there was overlap, but it's assumed there was, but I don't know. So then maybe Ryan was jealous because she was like getting these voice memos and having this intimate thing with this guy. And then there's another little piece that Wayfair, his production company, one of their next projects is a movie that is the directorial debut of Scarlett Johansson, who is Ryan's ex.
Yeah, and your tethered doppelganger.
And my doppy.
Yeah. What do you think Scarlett has to say about this?
I think Scarlett could not look better. Silent. But so there could be a little bit of like trying to like
a little dig, a little
because if Wayfair gets taken down, that's never going to happen.
Every time you say Wayfair, I think of Kelly Clarkson selling a purple couch.
Or wasn't Wayfair the one where they were saying they were selling teenage girls on it?
Probably.
It was like
in cabinets.
Yes, I love
in
that.
Cabinets, yeah.
They're like,
there's
this
a will,
oak cabinet,
there's a Wayfair.
This oak cabinet is very tan. It's very juicy and tan, and it's.
Yeah, there was something about like the product numbers that were like.
Yeah, it's aged, but it's under 17.
We actually installed it at Pizzagate in New York City.
That was so good. I love that.
Well, Ethan Hawke is now saying that casting actors are based on Instagram followers is crazy. Did you hear this story?
I thought his daughter was saying
his daughter came out with a story saying like, oh, Hollywood's very like, we'll cast you as to see how many followers you have. That's how people are getting cast now. So Maya revealed that she knows several, quote, smart directors who have been told by producers that they must cast actors with a certain amount of Instagram followers in order for a project to move forward. I don't care about Instagram. Instagram sucks, she said. Right. Well, just so you know, if you have over this many followers, you can get the movie funded. It's a really confusing line to walk. So
she's like, it's so annoying to get cast for that, and not because your parents are Ethan Hawke
and Uma Thurman, right?
Uma Thurman.
So it
used to be back in my day, you just had to have famous parents. That's all you had to do.
That's all you really had to do, and
you didn't have to like have an audience like you and want to support you and see what you're saying and doing.
But it's funny because Ethan was asked at the Berlin Film Festival about what his daughter said, and he said he's encountered this phenomenon as well, and it's crazy. So I don't know. It is interesting. He says, I really feel for these people. It's really hard. Sometimes I'll be setting a movie up and someone will say, oh, you should cast Susie. I'm like, who is she? Oh, she's got 10 million followers. I'm like, okay, cool. Has she acted before? No, but, and you're like, wow, this is going to help me get the movie made. This is crazy. Ethan also said, so if I don't have the public facing platform, I don't have a career. And if I get more followers, I might get that part. What? I totally get that. This is also what I think is an amazing quote. Ethan Hawke says at the festival, he said that he meets so many young actors in Hollywood that think being an actor is just protein shakes and going to the gym.
It's not about the art of acting.
No, it's not about like, it's just like, oh, I just want to be hot on camera and get paid millions of dollars.
They're like, I don't just have to be like a weird, insufferable person.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of crazy.
Soaks up everyone. No, it is true. No, because Ethan Hawke is one of the best actors. I love Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
I love everything he's done. I like his little weird-looking little daughter, too.
Her name is Maya.
Maya. I like Maya.
I almost was like, Ouya. I wanted to like combine Uma and Ethan.
I love the fam.
I
also really like Nepo babies because I think people look at them as like getting too much opportunity, but I think also you see them around people that are like very serious about their craft. Mm-hmm. They grow up in a household of people that just like love acting so much that they're either going to get some of that talent from nature or nurture, or maybe both. But so I do like a Nepo baby, and I think it's funny. Nepo babies are funny.
But I just feel like some Nepo babies are just like, okay.
Some of them aren't great. Yeah, no, some of them aren't great. That's true.
But there are people that I'm like, oh, like, especially during the pandemic where they got on TikTok and they kind of blew up on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. Now they're like, you see them in like shows.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's the kid from like, who went to like Denny's and was like, "Hey y'all,
yeah."
I'm having iced tea.
Were you an acting major or anything? Did you do?
Yeah, and damn good too.
Yeah.
But it's like it is kind of crazy where you just see these people who are just like, "Oh, I've got 8 million followers," and they're like, "Oh,
can you act like you're into me?"
That I can't do.
Let's role play.
I haven't studied long enough for that. No.
I know. It's like, it's method acting.
I would do it, but we don't have a proper intimacy coordinator here.
We need a barf bucket.
And a barf bucket with like shrimp tails in it.
But it is like, okay, because I got to act in my, I was in Terrifier 3. I did like a little.
Oh, right.
I did a little cameo.
I have not gotten to 3 yet. I saw the first 2.
Yeah.
You're in the opening sequence, right?
No, I'm in the middle of the movie.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's cute. I play podcaster. I'm doing exactly this. But I'm not really an actress. I like being in stuff because it's fun. Mm-hmm. But I got that because I was a fan of the show and became friends with the guy. So that's like in a way.
With the clown guy?
I'm friends with Art. Yeah, but Damien Leone, the creator of it and the director. But so it's like, it's not like I earned that necessarily. It's not like I got cast in it or whatever, but.
Yeah. I mean, well, there is a whole bunch of conspiracies now. There is a conspiracy theory about the new season of White Lotus.
Okay, what is it?
The new conspiracy on White Lotus is
Schwarzenegger had a fake penis?
Well, close. Patrick Schwarzenegger apparently had sex with Mike White to get the part of the...
How would we know that?
I don't know.
I love Mike White so much.
I do too.
I'm a huge Survivor fan. He did a season of Survivor.
Yes, and he put every cast member on his season on the show.
He is such a king. I love Chuck and Buck, Suck and Fuck, baby. I've loved everything he's ever made. He's so incredible. He's such a weirdo.
Would you do Survivor?
Yes.
You would?
Well, I ran into Jeff Probst once and I lost my mind and I name dropped Joe Rogan so fast. I was like, I'm not Joe Rogan. I was just talking about you. I was on his podcast yesterday. I was talking about you. I manifested you into my face. He was wearing a little fedora. He was at the coffee shop.
Well, you're a big Survivor fan.
I'm a #1 Survivor fan. And Jeff Probst is like you're allowed to fucking lose your mind. And
I saw him I was in an elevator with him once. It was fun.
He's great.
He was very, very sweet. But like,
did you ever see his nudes?
No.
They're crazy.
Like what? The tribe has spoken?
The tribe has, we're not putting that stuff out. Let me tell you. It's
He
wild.
puts the probe in probes?
I'll show you the probe.
Okay, good. But
I'll show you the probe.
What kind of challenges do you think you would be good at?
I mean, probably none of them, honestly. I don't think I'd be good. He said to me, you should come on the show. And I went, when I don't eat and sleep, I'm really not right. And he's like, nobody is. And I was like, oh.
Are you more physical or are you
I have been pixelating my feet since 2017. So that would be the hardest thing for me. The ones where your toes are and they're just doing close-ups of your feet because I just have this sort of rivalry with the foot fetish community where I'm like, you're never going to see them. And they find those slivers of my toes here and there. But I'm going to see how long I can do it. But my feet will be exposed. But maybe then I'll just
on an island with flies on them.
Oh yeah, they'll be all crusty too. Yeah. They'll be the worst.
Yeah, like mosquitoes.
They'll still be cute. I'll get a gel manicure or pedicure. But I think I would be curious to see. I just, I'm a fucking cunt when I don't sleep.
Yeah,
I'm a cunt.
Are you more physical challenges or mental challenges?
I think I could fuck up both.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I could fuck up both too.
I think I could fuck up both. I think I'm good at a puzzle.
Me too.
And I know how to. I used to rock. I can climb shit. I can balance.
I would need a safety cord or something.
Yeah, I did do Ozempic for 6 months and I no longer have muscles, so maybe I would be bad at it now.
Yeah.
I'm just like a jellyfish now.
Just a skin
Took all my
suit.
muscle. I was like, it hasn't come back yet.
You're just a windsock.
We do have a video that is some advice if you'd end up on Survivor.
Oh yes, this is what we talked about last night. We were talking about inspirational songs.
Yes.
And this is definitely one of my favorite inspirational songs because you said I do a lot of breath work in my car when times are stressful.
Oh yeah. I was like, do you ever have a job like that where you're doing breath work on the way to work? You're closing your eyes. You're like, I'd rather go out this way.
And this is the song. It's called Everybody's Free to Wear Sunscreen. It came out, I think, in 1999 or 2000.
If you graduated in the late 90s, you know this song.
And it was such a good, and it still slaps.
It's so good.
And it's
I know.
by Baz Luhrmann.
Make you cry. Well, it was someone else's speech for a college. It
was the class of 2000.
And then Baz Luhrmann turned it into this.
And it's so good.
I know.
And it's
Ladies and gentlemen,
here we go.
Of the class of 99.
99.
Wear sunscreen.
Yeah. It's still to this day. Yeah. How old 40 was?
So I know. I was 40. I'm like, oh, remember 40? I'm 41 now. I'm like, remember when I was 40?
Yeah.
It's so cute. It's such a good thing. It's so amazing. It's weird that it was something that impacted us back then when we were young and then still does now. How few things are just.
I think it came on I had the 90s channel on, I was doing the dishes at home and it would that came on and I was like, oh my God, I remember that song. And then I just started listening to it again and I was like, God, what great advice.
It's such good advice. It's good now too.
and then, timeless.
And it's not one of those things that makes you feel sad you aren't young anymore. Because sometimes I think things you go, oh.
Yeah. It makes you actually feel like you're in a good place now.
Yeah.
And I feel when this song came out, I was just like, oh, what lies ahead? What's the future? And now I feel I've seen that and I'm kind of oh yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
I will say I am way cuter than I was when I was younger though. I don't look at pictures and go she was such a hottie. I go, damn, I glue up. I glued up.
A glow up.
I glued up.
I glue up like this.
I glued up.
All right, we've got time for a couple more stories. Here we have a very bizarre moment where this burglar was caught after encountering a Home Alone style booby trap. Now, stay with me. Love Home Alone. However, I knew this day would come where someone tries to mimic or imitate the burglar. So this guy says his name is Paul Howell, is seen on CCTV prowling around the back of a house at around 3 a.m. Last year. He was spooked when he tripped over a string tied to a bucket of water, which tipped over and soaked his shoes. He fled the detached property in Northumberland, but was caught days later.
I want to see. They were like, we just followed around those wet
The wet shoe bandit.
But I think I want to see what else they did.
Here's the thing.
Like, was there marbles inside? It was going to be like, whoa, or like banana peels, like,
Exactly. I'm like, literally, that's when you give up?
We did this to the mean old man next door. Like, it wasn't even pee. It was like water.
It should have been pee.
It should have been pee.
It should have been.
This is not elevated. What is that?
Dehydrated coffee pee.
What the fuck is that?
That's the guy.
Did he get hit in the face with? He looks like he got the iron to the face.
He should have gotten the iron to the face, but no, that's what he looks
jaundice?
Like. Yeah, he is a little jaundiced.
Are you sure it wasn't pee that fell on him?
No, I'm pretty sure it was just water. But I also love the fact that he just like opened the door and the bucket of water fell on his shoes, and he's like, well, I'm out of here. This robbery's a bust.
Have you stepped in a creek before? Have you ever accidentally stepped in a creek on a hike? You are done hiking. Squishy shoes is a hell. That is a hell.
Squishy shoes are my kink.
That's
like he's like, oh.
Did you ever watch The Mighty Boosh? There was like a scene where this guy was like, he was like playing a little rat man and he put his feet in condoms. He was like, ooh, my squishy boots. I always think of that. But anyway, if you didn't see it, that was nonsense. Sorry.
How amazing would it have been had that's where he stopped? Like, this was his Squid Game, but like, had he opened the door, like razor blades would come down. Like, it would have just been the most extreme.
Are you sure this is not a corpse of a man? I am shocked at the color of this man's face.
No, he's just from Northumberland. They all look like that.
I've never seen someone have a blonde face. His face is blonde.
He has a blonde face.
What the fuck is that?
This is just a man who was just trying to break into a house.
A lazy ass burglar.
But here's the thing. I have a Ring cam and my shit still gets stolen.
I have a Ring.
So
I have a Ring too.
I have a Ring camera.
Mm-hmm.
He's had 108 previous convictions, including 25 burglaries.
Yeah, back all the way to 1986.
Each time he got...
But like water on the shoes, he's like, I'm out.
He
got home alone every time. It's just kind of crazy because of the person that put it up there. Like, someone was just like, I'm definitely going to get robbed, so I'm going to put this bucket up.
Yeah, like he had been, like things have been stolen over and over and over. So they're like, oh, we'll see if we can like get him.
Okay, so he had been robbing the same house. But also, if you're going to
get him. Yeah. Put like some fucking lava in there.
Acid, just burn his face.
Yeah, get some like...
This is cute. This is really like a cute little thing. It's like egging a house. It's like, oh.
This is dumb. He's like, my shoes, I'm out.
But I know, but is he homeless? So is it cold out?
I just think he's like crazy. He's just a crazy person. Like, look at him. He's blonde.
Yeah, you don't have a home.
No, it's like,
don't have a home.
Oh, it just drives me insane because literally I had packages outside of my place and someone just was like, that's mine, and left. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, find you?
I know. The Ring cam just shows you.
It just shows you. So I'm like, okay, there goes my Substance t-shirt. I guess I'll have to get another one.
I opened my door once.
No.
And and I live upstairs. So it's like it's just the building. You walk up like this flight of stairs and then you go into my apartment. And I opened the door once and there was like a sleeping bag with like weird crusty shit on it. And I was like, if I'm being honest, if I opened the door and someone who had been sleeping in that sleeping bag was there, they would not be on this earth anymore. I would have
stomped,
freaked out. That is the scariest thing.
What was it?
It was just some homeless guy had been sleeping there, I guess, and then just abandoned we just kicked the thing down.
In the stairwell?
Yes.
You had a crawl space person?
I had a what do they call it? Frogger?
Froggers.
A frogger.
You had a frogger in your place?
How scary is frogging?
I am so jealous right now.
I didn't think it could happen to me because I don't have a basement or a attic.
So how did they get in your place?
They weren't inside. They were right outside the door. It's like goes upstairs and then there's my door into my apartment.
Oh, so they got into like the public hallway.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's disgusting.
Terrifying. There's nothing that scares me more than frogging videos.
I have weapons. I've had enough fucking shit happen to me in my life. I'm strapped now, so I have weapons.
I'm strapped.
So I always have like a bat near my brass knuckles. I used to have my fans when they first started, when I had listeners and followers that wanted to send me stuff.
They sent
It was always
weapons.
men. I didn't feel comfortable like having them send. I didn't want to. I don't know. I don't like being like that. So I had them send me weapons so that I could defend myself against them if they ever came to get me. So I have swords. I have a bunch of stuff. Robbie Hoffman came and Morriconded my house and threw out a bunch of my shit. But I had nunchucks. I know. She killed my essence.
Wow.
Just like she did to her own boobs. She has top surgery.
Well, yeah. Hey.
She has top surgery.
But is she still with Gabby?
Oh, they're together, yes.
Good, yeah.
I was in Vegas
we like
with them.
rooting
They're
her
the
on
best.
Traitors.
No, Gabby's a queen on Traitors.
She is really funny.
And Robbie and Gabby are the cutest, weirdest little couple. I love them.
Yeah.
They're amazing. I love Robbie Hoffman. Have you had her on here?
No, I should.
She's fucking crazy. She's
She'd
so
be great.
fun. She's hilarious.
Who, Gabby or Robbie? Both of them.
Both of them.
Sure. Anytime.
I love them both.
We have our final story of the week. This one's really interesting. So, you know, Barron Trump, and hold on, everybody, before I say Barron Trump, and everyone's like, wait a minute, leave him alone. He's a child. Like, he's in college.
He's
fair game.
20 feet tall.
Yes. We also have the same birthday, I found out.
Oh, you do? What is it?
March 20th.
Oh, cute.
Yep.
Coming up.
I know. Maybe you'll get married. Maybe you won't. But he
Deep
is
plan.
at NYU, and this Republican.
Get married. Maybe you won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny to say when it's your birthday coming up.
That me and Barron Trump have the same birthday?
No, you said that your birthday's coming up. You said, maybe I'll get married. Maybe
I won't.
So
maybe you'll have children. Maybe you won't. Hey, don't look in the mirror. It'll only crack.
Maybe you'll have frozen embryos. Maybe they'll get burnt up in the Palisades fire.
Jurassic Park was it, bitch. So let me read a little bit of this story for you. This is actually really funny. So 5 days after the president of New York University's college Republicans described Barron Trump as an oddity on campus. Have you seen this? Did you see this story?
I have not seen this story.
So they were like, oh, we have Barron Trump. You know, he's 6'10" walking around campus. And it's just very like.
Totally weird looking.
Totally weird. Yeah. Like totally like.
A thing.
Trying to fit in, whatever. Right. I get it. College, it's weird. Whatever, but of course
you're like, I listen to Theo's podcast. Like, are we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in charge of the DOGE. This woman, after she described Barron Trump as an oddity, was forced to resign from her position, a decision she now says she regrets. Kaya Walker, who headed NYU's College Republicans of America, stepped down Monday after describing the president's son, a freshman, in an interview with Vanity Fair, saying, he's sort of like an oddity on campus. He goes to class, he goes home. The comment drew shift backlash after it was shared on AF Post, a popular conservative account. It garnered 9.4 million views and more than 9,000 comments. So him being weird on campus, and then he goes to class, he goes home. This girl was forced to resign.
I just feel like when you're 6'10", everyone's staring at you. You add on that you're a very controversial president's son.
Yeah.
And you sort of look like him. It's uncanny valley because you sort of look like him.
You sort of look like him, but also it's the hair gel.
You're so
hair
tall.
Gel freaks me out. It's the American Psycho, like Patrick Bateman, like gelled hair back. And you also look like,
that guy's an oddity too. They're all oddities. Look at everyone. Oddities. That little kid looks weird. Everyone's weird.
But also, can we not say people look weird anymore? No. Like, what happened to free speech?
I think...
Like, this girl's like, oh, yeah, we just see him walking around campus. He's weird looking. Then he goes home.
But was she saying he's weird looking or he is a weird thing at the campus?
An oddity.
It is weird. It's weird to have the president's son on campus.
Right.
And then add a foot to him.
Yeah.
He's so tall. Now, can we look up the actual definition of oddity?
It's weirdo. He's a weirdo. That's literally what an oddity is.
I know what it is, but I just want to see what the actual
Webster's dictionary.
Yes, because we can get this girl out of this.
An oddity is
a particular,
a strange or peculiar person, thing, or trait.
I mean, I guess that's talking shit. But I feel like this is, the fact that she's a Republican is interesting because I feel like this would be something Republicans would do to like get back at liberals for being too...
That's what I'm saying.
Of them.
The whole like snowflake of it all.
Yes.
Like they're so used to calling people snowflakes that don't agree with them. But then you have like.
Oh, everyone's buck wild. Everyone's a hypocrite. Everyone's crazy. I have to include myself because I'm part of everyone. But I mean, everyone's nuts.
Everyone's nuts. And I think
and freedom of speech, I feel like is really just like people want to say the N-word, right?
Not on this podcast.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, no, the freedom of speech, like bros. I'm like,
oh, everyone.
You guys are saying everything you want except one thing you get.
Yeah.
They want to be able to say it without like black people getting mad at them or something. I'm like, is that what this is all about? I feel more censored by the freedom of speech bros than I do by anyone else.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty wild because it's like, even with like the SNL Tom Hanks sketch, they're like,
I
wait,
didn't
that's
see
too
it.
far. I
Can
mean,
you tell me what it was?
he just like, they did like a Black Jeopardy.
Okay.
And Tom Hanks was wearing like a MAGA hat, and
what,
Keenan went to go shake his hand, and he was like, ah, and freaked out. And everyone's like,
right, because people
"You're
get
calling
mad
us
because they're like, yeah,
racist."
we're not necessarily, which is true. They're not necessarily racist. That's
No,
true.
I mean, I know.
I don't think I got in trouble. People were mad at me because I said I like Candace Owens because I've been watching I was like, I can't believe this happened. I'm watching Candace Owens. And people are like, how can you? You're Jewish. She's all this. I'm like, I don't even know what she is. I'm literally just like the one thing she does. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like you grouping everything together I can see where that.
It's just really tired. And I just think it's really interesting. That's like, oh, you said something weird about the president's son. Get out of here.
We all just need to do more
Meanwhile,
mushrooms.
poor Chelsea Clinton was dragged forever.
Oh my God, for being hideous. Everyone just called her ugly,
like, what a fucking
and that's
gross.
a very good point.
Yeah, and Sasha and Malia, like Obama.
Did you see when Trump dismissed the Indian guy because he couldn't understand his accent?
What?
Trump is out here in roast battle every day. Trump is just crushing roast battle.
Yeah, there was a reporter and he was just like, I can't
understand you. Next.
Yeah.
It's like so
I mean, that's
crazy.
me on stage,
it's
literally.
So funny.
That was me last night with a girl from the UK in the front. I was like, could you speak English?
Well, there's so much censorship on both sides. Like a lot of my liberal friends after the election would be like, well, not a lot, but one of my liberal friends was like, saying to me that some comic I've never met, I don't even know who they are, was asking her who I voted for. Like, did she vote the right way or whatever? And I'm like, what?
Like behind your back?
And then she was like, yeah, no, she voted. And I'm like, first of all, why are you telling people who I voted? It's like, first of all, I think it's obvious, but I guess it's not. But I'm like, but also I think it's funny if people like don't know that I'm obviously a thing. Hello.
Yeah. And also, it's like, it's the whole point of like an election. Like, you can't like villainize somebody because they did. It's like,
but I'm like, my side's like policing me.
Am I loving the MAGA makeup tutorials? Yes.
I will say the black MAGA hat is pretty cute. How did he come up with his branding? He really just branded himself into a president. It's crazy. But
he's a king now.
I just feel so like politically fatigued, and these sides, I'm like, I don't want to be a side, but you have to be a side.
I don't want to be a side. I'm tired.
We do that. We have to perform to everyone. It's like, I need to like figure out common ground between all of us.
I want to travel and not be afraid.
Yes.
So I don't know what the solution is.
Are you talking about the planes or the?
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
I'm just exhausted.
No, it is like, it's just, I have no clue what's happening.
No.
But I just try to do my breath work. I listen to a Sunscreen song.
Yeah, and that's all you can do. Annie, thank you so much for being here. You made it. Did you have fun?
I did have so much fun.
Good. And please tell, where are you performing? Where are you going to be at?
Go to annielederman.com/shows.
Yes.
I'm going to be this month I'm in Alaska. This month I'm in Milwaukee. I'm doing a one-nighter in Milwaukee next Wednesday. Then I'm going to be in New York for the first week of March. I'm going to do some shows at the Stand. Come to those. Then I'm going to be in Alaska. I'm going to Philly for a little bit. I'm doing Canada, Toronto, all these things. Hopefully my plane lands upright.
I know.
I mean, we fly for a living.
I know. We do. And you guys can catch me. I will be at Laugh Boston March 2nd. Also in Texas, March 11th. In Houston, March 12th. I believe in San Antonio. And I will also be, I think, March 16th in Dallas, Texas. New York, March 20th. And tickets, go to my link tree on Instagram at Justin Martindale. And as always, we will see you next time on the Just Saying podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Annie.
Team Justin Martindale.
Yes.